By the time you're seeing this video, it will be Thursday, and we are continuing with the series of relationships and marriages. So let's talk about the types of marriage contracts. Let's talk about mshado. About marriages and its formalities. Say hi to Sama, who just woke up. I don't know why. He's been sleeping peacefully for so long. Anyways, before we get to this video is not legal advice. If you are looking for legal advice, go and consult with a registered legal practitioner, and you'll get the necessary advice that you need specifically to your needs. Anyways, types of marriages. Marriages can be civil union. Civil marriages being mshado mfundisi. Let's put it that way. That's what Zulu people say, and I'm rolling with that. Mshado mfundisi being a civil union. Customary marriages are marriages that are according to whoever's customs. So if you're Tsonga, there are different customs that are specifically tailored for Tsonga people. If you are Zulu, there are specific customs that are followed that are specifically tailored for Xhosa people, Zulu people. It's different for each and every person. So when you look at that act, that there was a case that said that ukushada is fulfilled by lobola. It's different for each custom. For AmaZulu, that's not the case. So again, I am specifically saying to you guys, again, if you are looking for legal advice, go and consult with a legal advisor. Anyways, what are the fulfillments for a customary marriage? What does the act say? Let me read it to you so that you understand what I'm saying. For a customary marriage to be fulfilled, it says that the prospective spouses must both be 18 years, consent to be married to each other under customary law, and marriages must be negotiated and entered into or celebrated according to customary law. That's an important factor. And spouses in a customary marriages cannot enter into a marriage under the Marriage Act. So umshado wamfundisi, unless if both the husband and wife are married only to each other. So laba bafike bashade and thereafter go and get married. It's fine only if you are going to be getting married to just your husband. But if you are going to be with umantini, then you are going to then go with umazikali. Awazi to then go your register umshado or civil. That marriage will not be valid. Okay. And again, here, if you are a minor, both parents or legal guidance must consent to the marriage if your guys are minors. I don't know why you guys are getting married to each other as minors. Anyways, none of my business. And in terms of customary law, the Constitutional Court said, in terms of Tsonga marriage, again, even the Constitutional Court, when was deciding this case in 2013, that it specifically spoke of Tsonga customs. So with customary law, the law of customs is not codified, so we cannot say customs are this way. But when we are looking at mshado, when we are looking at different customs, we look at the different people. Musama is doing the most. We are specifically looking at labo, that specific customary group. What are they called? What are we called? I forgot what it's called. But the indigenous African people, we are looking at those people when we are speaking of customary law and the specific groups, because we all have different rules and ways. Because Tina, ungashadu lobole, you're still not married. So go do so until the marriage is celebrated. Then only are you married. That's customary law. customary marriage. If you want to enter into it, go and consult with a legal practitioner who's going to guide you. And civil union, why do I keep on saying unions? A civil union is a marriage that is concluded in terms of the Civil Union Act 2017 of 2006, and then which came into operation in 2006, and it applies to people that are in same-sex marriages, same-sex couples, and also heterosexual couples that do not want to enter into a marriage in terms of the Marriage Act. But again, here it is a voluntary it's a voluntary union between two persons who are 18 years or older, which is then solemnized and registered by way of either a marriage or a civil partnership, in according to the procedures prescribed by the Act. Choose either to call it their union a marriage or a civil partnership. That's according to Section 11, subsection 1. Regardless of the name that you choose, this is important, the union has the same legal consequences of a marriage in terms of a Marriage Act. No marriage officer. So it is accordingly. So if you're getting married in a civil partnership and you don't want to get married in community of property, go and register in ANC. If you are getting married and you don't want to be, and you want to be married, so all of the consequences that you'd have and all of the benefits that you'd have if you were married in terms of marriage law, you have in terms of the civil union, whatever you call your partnership, whether you're calling it a marriage or you're calling it you're calling it a civil union. And one important factor that I need to highlight for my homosexual gang, the people that are same-sex couples. One thing that you need to note is that according to Section 6 of the Civil Union Act, it says that no marriage officer who belongs to a religious denomination or organization may be compelled to solemnize a same-sex union. So unfortunately, if you are somebody who wants to get married, you cannot force umfundisi wakho who doesn't believe in same-sex relationships or same-sex marriages and tell them that you want them to marry you ngengani. You don't have that right, and it is stated, and they have a right to religion and their choices that they do, in the same sense that you have a right to sexual orientation. So, right. And then there's also Hindu marriages, and Hindu marriages in South Africa are currently not recognized as legal marriages. However, there's still consideration of them, and once they are considered as such, they will be part of our marriages. And then the one other type of marriage that you may enter into is a Muslim marriage. Muslim marriages in South Africa are still not recognized. However, and a big however, is that in 2020 rather, there was the process of making the marriages of Muslim culture, of Muslim marriages, which are regulated by Islamic law, were all done, but then it was not finalized in terms of Uguti. It is now a formal Muslim marriage. It's not been enacted as legislation. How life partners, umashlalisana is not a marriage. Do not be so happy that there is now an act that says you could benefit from the estate of the deceased mahlalisane wako. You're still not married. You won't be married until you are married. Like I always say this, umshado. If you want to make your relationship so solid, umshado is the end it's still the end goal of it. In relationship yako, if you want it to be legally recognized, it is only recognized if you are married. If you are not, yeah, we'll recognize you on taking into consideration all of the circumstances, like how long have you guys stayed together and all of that, but you're still not married. It still doesn't change. So yeah, at the time of the person dying, you will benefit from the estate, provided you make the application of a life partner. It's a whole application. I've done it for someone before, and that's what you is considered, but it's not an automatic right while esaphila. Whereas when you are married, if you are married in community of property, you have the same rights that you'd have even the person dies. And if you are married in other types of marriages, you have different rights. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we've discussed what is marriage. Did I define what it's marriage is a contractual partnership. It is a contract between two people that decide ukuthi bona bafuna ukuphila ingunaphakade, or until a time that the marriage no longer can actually survive. Shame. So it's that, and it's between two consenting adults. If it's a civil union, if it's a civil marriage, it has to be two heterosexual partners and who are only two. If it's a customary marriage, it is a marriage that can also be with more than two people. So only for males, unfortunately, we only recognized polygamy. We only recognize polygamy, and we do not really recognize polygamous relationships where also the female being polyandry is also allowed to get married. It's still not a thing for us, but for guys, yes, you can marry more than one person, and the customs are different for each and every indigenous African culture. Do not say just because bathu double HP ushadile, then it means for you as well now ushadile umzulu, where umshado is not fulfilled by lobola usayingodu. So, and then there's the civil union, which is marriages of people of same sex, and you get the same consequences that you would get in a civil marriage in terms of Marriage Act. So if you are in a civil union, you have the same rights and everything, but you cannot compel somebody who is of a certain religion to marry you just because you now have a right to get married. It's not a thing. Section 6 of the Act it's even codified in terms of Section 6 that you can't force people to marry you being attended. Then there's Muslims and Hindu marriages. Those are not yet legalized in South Africa, but Muslim marriage is something that has done all of the steps in order to make it a formal marriage, but it's still not enacted as legislation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I'll see you on my next video. The next video we are discussing the systems that are available for umshado. What are the property systems that are available? That's what we are going to be looking at. We are going to be looking at the Matrimonial Property Act 88 of 1984. That's what we are looking at next on our video on Monday.